It's Thursday evening, which means only one thing, my friend. It's time for Thursday Tear Talk. How are you, Darren?
I thought you were going to tell me it was Taco Thursday or something in your gaff, pal. I was like, shit, did I miss out on something?
Way too spicy for me. Way too
You're not
spicy for
are
me.
you not a taco fan now? You can dumb it down a
No.
bit, like you can make it a little less spicy. I do like a bit of spice in my life, I have to tell you.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if you dumb it down, it's really just meat in a wrap, isn't it? Or something that made in a
She,
taco. It's not really.
the boss lady downstairs visits the butchers, and she picks
Mm.
up these. They do 5 little Mexican. They're like Mexican mini fillets. No skin around like that. It's just a chicken 5 mini fillets, and they're marinated in this Mexican sauce. Fry them up in the pan. 2 minutes. Uncle Ben's rice in the microwave. Toss it all together for 30 seconds in the pan. A little bit of Frank's. How you doing?
Happy
Like that.
days.
Like that.
Kicking off early into the comments here. Statman Stevens with us.
How did you do in your quiz? Yeah.
No, we didn't do the quiz. Didn't go ahead. It's postponed till Monday. But we did this morning. We did a Leipzig preview on Stephen's channel. It was great crack. Some good people over there, great community and stuff like that. And a couple of them came across and sub to our channel and stuff like that. So hats off to Stephen and stuff like that. Even to you,
Thanks,
Stephen.
lads.
He's just after finishing a watch along, which I'm sure he's very happy about. Liverpool running out 5-0. I think it finished in the end. 4 for Nunes.
How did Nunes do there, Niall? Yeah.
He did all right now, for being the Uruguayan.
For a guy that came on a half time, like.
For a guy who's supposed to be the Uruguayan Andy Carroll, he did pretty good in fairness now,
Did someone actually say that?
That's the latest, yeah. The latest is the Uruguayan Andy Carroll butcher. That's neither here nor there, Listen, we love proving people wrong, so it's all good. Took his goals well. I had to get the update from the lads as well. I was wondering why Nunes took the penalty and not Mo. But obviously it was to boost his confidence and get him going, and that certainly worked. So I kind of made the comment after it. If Mo wants to hang on to that golden boot, he might be more selective in his passing going forward. Because Nunes looks like he's after finding his finishing boots. And against decent competition, Darren, as well, Leipzig, Nkunku was out there, and the boy Hadara, who we like a lot as well. Now, I know they were missing Luckman and a few others, but still a strong enough Leipzig side,
I actually had a little look there just before, because obviously I vested interest with my statements regarding Nunes, So first of all, I seen his last goal. Did you see his last goal?
No, I haven't seen. I'm going to watch all the goals.
His last goal, the goalkeeper throws into the net. Now, literally, Carvalho goes to the defenders. Nunes is coming from the left-hand side. He plays the ball to Nunes. Nunes side foots it with his right foot, right to the goalkeeper's hands, like on the ground, and he catches it and throws it in off the post on the far side. It's horrific. Now, when I tell you it's horrific, it's way out there. But something I looked at the Leipzig lineup, and I also looked at their bench, because there's still quite a few ins and outs at Leipzig. And do you know what? Leipzig could struggle a little bit this season. They've lost a lot of players. The boy Mukiel is on the verge of signing. He was on the bench tonight. He was on the verge of signing for PSG. And the boy Konrad Laimer is heavily linked with Bayern Munich. Julian Nagelsmann wants to get that done. Leipzig could be...
Tyler just went to Leeds.
Tyler Adams just went to Leeds. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of outs at Leipzig. A lot of outs. Yeah. And I don't think there's been enough ins just yet. So they'll need to redress that balance, or it could be a long season for them in the Bundesliga.
They've a very good record though of recycling talent, haven't they? In terms of bringing talent through now.
Absolutely. They tap into the market very well in the Red Bull Salzburg market, which is what they've done previously. But I mean, Salzburg's best player, the boy Adeyemi, who looked like he might be on his way to Liverpool, actually went to Dortmund. So there's another guy that won't be going back through the Red Bull ring, as we say, we might see Mark's friend, Okafor. He may end up at Leipzig. I know there's been interest from around Europe with this kid, but it would seem like maybe he might come in to replace some of what's left the building already,
Yeah. Yeah, just mentioning Stephen there, his channel, Statman Stubbs Football Channel. Go over there and hit a subscribe. He's so close to getting the 1,000. He broke through the 900 barrier there today during the watch along and stuff like that. I predicted it this morning. He was looking to pick up about 17 or 18 subs, and he picked them up during the watch along. So hats off him. Absolutely flying over the 900 mark now. And some of his subscribers came over to our channel today as well. So thank you to anyone who came over.
Big
Hope
thanks
you're
to the
enjoying the
lads, yeah.
content. Yeah, absolutely.
Hit us up anytime, Stephen. I love a good football quiz.
Yeah, absolutely. He's top lad, absolute top lad. I suppose there's nowhere to kick off first of all, but we got to kick off with this guy, who got the move to Dortmund, and now he's kind of being struck down a bit. They have found a testicular tumor, and he has been sidelined, and he's reporting back for treatment. So all we can say is we wish him absolutely best in his recovery and in his battle. No doubt he'll come through it, no bother at all. He's an absolute athlete and a baller, and we wish him well in his treatment and recovery. Any further thoughts?
It was so weird because obviously on Monday night we'd spoken about him, and then the news. I think the news broke as we were on the podcast, if I'm right. And because when I went downstairs, I was scrolling through the socials, and it was on the socials straight away, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I was telling Rosanna, I said, we were just talking about this guy, Sebastian Haller. As you said, hearts go out to him. Hopefully he comes through everything unscathed. It's just another thing, and us men, we find it difficult sometimes to do the right thing, but always have a little check when you're down there in the shower, lads, and don't be afraid to knock on the doctor's door or and just get it checked out if you have any concerns, because it's a massive thing now, and the earlier you get these things, the better the prognosis will be going forward and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like any cancer, the earlier, as you said, the quicker you react to it, the better the chance you have of kicking it. So yeah, absolutely.
And we're like, when you have a cold or I'm a cold, our two wives are baiting us to get to the doctor, and we're like, we'll be grand. And we typically feel like that about a lot of things, but when it's something like that, and you got to get these things checked and make sure you're all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Better off now. Not everything can be resolved with 2 Sulfadine and a bottle of flat 7-Up. That's for sure. So anyone out there, always be very, very careful. If something doesn't seem right, go get it checked out. The earlier, the better. Good to have Morris in the comments there. Absolutely, Morris. Terrible news. So we said we'd start the show with that and wish him the best of luck in his recovery. Great guy altogether. Now, where do we go from here? Let's talk about these two boys, Mason Mount and Reece James, are set for new Chelsea bumper contracts in the wage bill shake-up. What you're thinking on this? I can kind of figure it out with you.
they're going up the food chain, aren't they? Really? When the lads above them have been chopped and cut out, Bowley is looking at these two guys and saying, "Listen, these are two local lads, sort of thing. You know what I mean? These are guys we've come up through our academy. It's probably not a bad way to spend money, because it obviously lights a fire under the lads who are in the academy at the minute and says, well, you know what? If we put in the hard work and the determination and stuff like that, maybe we can get to this sort of a level. Plus, I think they're probably been two of Chelsea's better players in the last couple of seasons. So, I mean, they're only just getting their rewards now, really. And when a lot of guys come in, and if you come in on a big deal and stuff like that, you probably get the contracts that you're looking for straight away. Whereas when you come up from the youth team, you've got to maybe prove yourself a little more. So I think the two lads deserve it, I have to be honest. I think this is a good bit of business.
Yeah, I think it's a good time as well, especially at a time where your head could be turned. I mean, there had been talk that Mason Mount was keeping an eye on the open market, let's say, and stuff like that. But we know he's kind of a Chelsea boy and stuff like that. But I think it's the right move, especially with the two boys at their age and stuff like that, and especially with you need that kind of blend in there, don't you? Especially at a time of a rebuild and a new ownership and stuff like that, you need that bit of stability in there.
Yeah, and if there's nobody in that first team that kids can look up to, aspire to, and say, well, I can be the next Reece James, I can be the next Mason Mount. It kind of puts a little bit of a glass ceiling on their head like that. Whereas when you've got guys involved in the first team who are now going to be, like, I mean, you're going to look at the two guys, you're probably going to talk of them as senior pros now on the money they're going to be on and with the experience they've garnered over the last number of years. And like, I think it's ideal for Chelsea, if I'm honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to this one. This was something I'm sure you'll be very interested in. But first of all, Eric TenHag had confirmed a change to Man United's preparation for the Premier League. And what he was talking about was prior to the game. Was it yesterday? Crystal Palace, was it? Or
yeah, it was the game with Palace. It was the day before. It was Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Sorry. But what he had confirmed was that the team was now going to start taking shape, and you were going to start to see the players and the formation that's kind of going to be involved and stuff like that. And I think you've seen it. Give me your thoughts on the Palace game. I thought United were very impressive.
Yeah, I was delighted. If I'm honest, I was really, really delighted. And I know, listen, it's pre-season, but I think already in 3 games, the game against Melbourne, the game against Liverpool, and the game against Palace, we've seen the foundations being put down by Ten Hag and by the players as well, because the players have started to buy into it. I thought the Marcus Rashford goal was phenomenal, really, really phenomenal. All the one-touch football, Sancho into Martial, one touch to Van de Beek one touch back across to Rashford empty net. You're just looking at this going, these guys were devoid of any sort of confidence, 3-4 months ago. And 4 lads in particular, Sancho and Rashford had an awful time at United. Martial was on loan at Sevilla, and Van de Beek was on loan at Everton. And if you look at the way those 4 put that move together to score that goal, like, I was delighted. I really, really was. And I think a lot of things have really, really helped me, get behind this and really kind of feel confident in it, Yeah, see Morris there is going in. He's playing heel again, is he?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out the last 2 comments. I was trying to figure out, was he being sincere about Mount?
Yeah, no, he definitely wasn't.
James?
No, he definitely wasn't.
And then I was thinking, is he being sincere here again as well?
No, he's definitely not again.
Definitely not. He's definitely on one tonight, all right.
Definitely
and we're glad to have him as well.
You know what it might be? It might be Rachel's still in the dam, I think, and he's been left looking after the kids, I think, Morris. Is that what happened, Morris, or is she home yet? It might have been a long 2 or 3 days.
He's a busy man at the best of times, regardless.
Yeah, he might be under the cosh there with the kids now.
Although we have to say, never too busy to support our show. In fairness,
absolutely not.
Always here to rock up with a cool one-liner or whatever it is. Absolutely.
One of the things that really I really, really enjoyed from the Palace game, and I'm sure you've seen it, and I know a lot of other people would have seen it, which was this David De Gea clearance late on in the game. Did you see this?
Yeah, this is the one where the manager went in on him, yeah.
This is where we're 3-1 up and somebody gives the ball back to him and he takes a first touch, loops up and decides to pump it along. And Ten Hag, now you're 3-1 up, there's 86 minutes gone, and Ten Hag just explodes. And I'm just like, wow. I'm just like, this is brilliant. The way he's absolutely... And listen, I'm a massive De Gea fan. I love the goal. But the way he's not afraid to stand on anyone's toes, and the way he was absolutely scalding De Gea over not doing things the way that he's been told to do it. Like, this is 110% what United need and what the players need. They need to know that there aren't other options. There's only the one way to do things, which is the way the manager's is put it out to them. Do you know what I mean? And that for me was the highlight of the game. Although as good as the goals were, that was just, for me, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, Morris says he's busy celebrating the great win over Orlando.
Got his boys, who was it? Eddie Nketiah and Martinelli, and there was a third one. Another one got the third. It
was the 3 front boys, wasn't it? All got a goal each, was it?
It was definitely Martinelli and Nketiah. I didn't see who got the third.
Morris will update us anyway, but I think it was the front 3 that they were playing, whatever the front 3 was, as far as I know. Did Smith Rowe get one? Was it Smith Rowe?
Might have been Smith Rowe. Might have been, yeah.
I'm sure Morris will update us. He's also there. That was a great moment for Eric TenHag.
From
Absolutely.
TenHag. No, with
Yeah.
that's the explosion on the hay. I think that was.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was.
The two boys here got my hopes up there the other day. I read a headline, and I said, "Jesus, it's happening already. I might enjoy this." Bruno Fernandes and David De Gea challenge each other in Man United pre-season camp. And I was thinking, I'm going to click into this video now, and these two lads are going to, after punching the head off each other on the training ground or something, and I was going to go, yeah, back to the usual. And what do I find out? These two are running a challenge in pre-season for table tennis against each other. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, he really has these guys bonding and humming and all, doesn't he? It's starting to get on me wick at this stage, you know what I mean?
There's a lot
I was
of
living through the headline, you know, and I was thinking, oh, there's uproar already, you know, but no.
There's a lot of stuff coming out about the togetherness in the squad, you know, and about how the rules have changed and there's certain rules. And to be honest with you, like, again, for me, this was something we needed really, really. Reece Nelson. Yeah, right. It was Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson. Yeah.
It was something that we've needed, you know, because there was times last season when our lads were at each other more than they were at the opposition. And it was horrible to see lads going at each other over this and that. The only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about with all these rules is the more of these rules that come in and the more of this kind of scalding that happens and stuff like that, as much as I love it, you start to look and realise this isn't going to work for certain guys. There's certain names, let's say one, Cristiano Ronaldo, the man on my t-shirt here. There's no way he's going to go to this dinner before the game and leave his phone in his room. There's no way he's going to, you know, wear this and do that. And, you know, there's a lot of kind of structure. I don't know how Ronaldo's going to fit into that, if I'm honest.
Question for you, Darren, there from Morris. Who's the back?
4 or 5 this season.
Yeah.
De Gea, that's number one anyway. He'll play. I think, looking at what he's brought in, I wouldn't be surprised at times to see us play a 5, but I think he'll play a 5 maybe when we go away to Liverpool, to City, stuff like that, and he'll play defensive then. I think when we're at home, we'll see a 4. I think when we're at home against pretty much anyone, he'll go in with a flat 4. I absolutely see the boy Martinez playing, and I think for a lot of the season, Martinez will play on the left and Maguire will play as the right centre back. And I think you'll see the boy Malacia on the left and Dalot on the right, unless I know they're looking to bring a right back in, but at the minute, if you ask me, first day of the season against Brighton, I think it'll be De Gea, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, and Malacia.
Interesting. There's big shouts, isn't there? When you think of Shaw and stuff like that, absolutely. Shaw, Varane, Lindelof, Boy. That's a big shout. That would be a changing of the guard, really. Absolutely. Let's move on to this guy. Morris will enjoy this. Aaron Ramsdale was talking the other day, turned around and he said, winners like Gabriel Jesus raise the Arsenal level. I would agree with that wholeheartedly, as long as they bring in 1 or 2 more players.
Yeah, I think it's very tough for the kid to do it on himself, do it on his own, isn't it? Now, I get what Ramsdale is saying, because it brings a culture to the club, and it's the right kind of culture when you've got the Martinellis, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, the Odegaards, you know, the Vieiras and stuff like that. There's a lot of talent, the Eddie Nketiahs. There's a lot of talent in that Arsenal kind of the last third of the pitch, those attackers and strikers and stuff like that. There's a lot going on there. I think they've enough to get goals to win games. I think at the back they've got Ramsdale, which is good. I think at both ends of the pitch they're okay. I think it's through the middle. It's those 2 banks of 4, or those 2 holding midfielders maybe, and then your 4 at the back, which is where, they're going to struggle a little bit. I think Zinchenko's a great signing. I think the boy Tomiyasu was good at stages last season. I think Ben White and maybe Saliba and Gabriel makes it a little bit tighter. I think the midfield is where they're really, really struggling. I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd want at least one, maybe two centre midfielders in before the end of the window.
Yeah, I think they're definitely. I think that's their thinking anyway, because we know Arteta's looking at that situation anyway. Morris back on. I'm worried about Ramsdale. He seems overconfident these days, and mistakes are creeping in. One to keep an eye on.
I think he's just a confident kid. I think he's just a very, very confident kid. I think, keepers are very different. All keepers are different. Like, if you look at somebody like De Gea, he's quite a quiet, shy, retiring sort of a keeper, and whereas Ramsdale's not. Ramsdale's in your face. He's loud. He's aggressive. He's, you know what I mean?
Passion.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, listen, both lads do a great job for their club. The boy Ederson at Man City, he's a lot more like De Gea. He's a lot more introverted. I would say Alisson's a little more extroverted like that, the touches of the ball and the way he sprays it about and the way he speaks to the players and stuff like that. So they're all different kind of ways of doing things. But I wouldn't worry about Ramsdale, if I'm honest. I think he should be the first name on the team sheet every week at Arsenal. I think he'll be a massive player from this season.
Yeah. Speaking of news, after the show on Monday night, the transfer show, I sent a little bit of an update there to Morris, with news that they wouldn't be getting John Joe Shelby, that he's signing a new contract
he's
at
just
Newcastle.
Picked up his deal. yeah, which I'm a little bit surprised with, if I'm honest, that they would give Shelby a deal knowing they have the kind of what they have at their disposal, and I don't necessarily think he'd fit into my plans if I was an Eddie Howe, if I'm honest. Like, he'd be a little bit further down the pecking order.
I suppose it depends on what their plans still are in the market, and they're probably thinking squad as well. Because I presume
if you're looking to get into the top six, is John Joe Shelby good enough to get in your squad?
Probably not the top six.
No.
But certainly in terms of showing improvement and maybe doing well in a couple of domestic trophies and stuff like that, a couple of decent domestic cup runs or something like that, he could be important in those games. And I think maybe it depends what Eddie's thinking in terms of, are they going to go back into the market for more players? Is there still more players to come in over the next 6 weeks? If they've kind of turned around and said, we've kind of done our business now till January, then I could see why Eddie would want to hang on to the kids,
No, there's absolutely no way they're done. No way at all. Newcastle.
Well, because we're on the outside, we don't know. That's what I mean.
Yes, I think
they're done.
No, they're absolutely. Well, I mean, they're still very, very short in the striking options, aren't they? Like, they've got Wood, who kind of flattered to deceive. They've got the boy Wilson, who does extremely well when he's fitting well. They look to bring in the boy Hugo Ekitike, who's just signed for PSG. That didn't get done. They'll look at someone else up front. They'll probably look at another midfielder, and maybe I wouldn't be surprised to see them get 3 more. To be honest with you, and that's off the back of a Nick Pope, a Sven Botman making the target deal permanent and stuff like that. I still think we'll see Newcastle, splash a little bit more cash in there, another 60 to 80, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Morris, it's very surprising. He must be a good character to have around the training ground. I'd say he probably is. I know from his time at Liverpool and stuff like that, he was a bit of a character when we seen the training videos and stuff like that and all. And I know for a while he was doing okay. He has a wicked strike on him at times, some distance as well. But I don't know if Newcastle are very serious about their business and breaking into the top 6 and challenging for stuff. Yeah, I don't see him in the 11. And I think it could be... I think you're right. It could be ways down the bench, really. I think you're looking at maybe, League Cup or early stages of an FA Cup or that kind of thing. But we'll keep an eye on it anyway. But
can I mention something before I forget? And it was just before I come on again, flicking through the socials, and Burnley cropped up. Obviously, Burnley have been Premier League side for the last number of years here. I'm looking. Tarkowski plays for Everton last night. You've got the boy Collins, who's gone to Wolves Great deal for Wolves. This kid's a footballer, by the way, at 20.5 million, unbelievable. But now it looks like they're also going to lose the boy Ben Mee. Looks like he's about to sign on the line at Brentford. Now, they're three of the centre backs that have basically kept him in the league, for the last number of years. Burnley, Vincent Kompany or not, could really, really struggle in that championship year. Championship this year. The boy Weghorst has already gone on loan to Turkey, and the boy Dwight McNeil is heavily linked with Crystal Palace and West Ham. There's not going to be a lot left in that Burnley squad unless they make some rapid additions. And we know the championship kicks off, in about 10 days' time.
Yeah.
Burnley could be in lumber here. Could be in lumber. Just wanted to get that in before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a lot of people to be going out the door. Let's have a quick chat about this. The new FIFA 23. For the first time, it's announced it's the first for the franchise. With Sam Kerr, the Chelsea player, she's on the cover there. What you thinking on it? I think it's pretty cool.
100%.
I like the move.
100%. I possibly wouldn't have chosen the girl Sam Kerr. I don't have anything against her. I just think if you're a watcher, I've started actually to watch a little bit more ladies football. I've watched a lot of the Euros and stuff like that. You're putting like the guy, you're putting obviously Kylian Mbappe up there. He's one of the best players in the world. If you want to put someone sitting beside him, there's a girl that plays for Arsenal. She's a Dutch international. Her name is Vivian Miedema. Stop the lights. This girl is like Ronaldinho in drag. She is fucking amazing. Morris might have seen her a little bit for Arsenal for the ladies. Vivian Miedema, she is ridiculous, and I'd love to see her go on the cover. But I think it's only right that the girls have a representative now. There's some fabulous footballers. The support over there in England for the Euros has been unbelievable. England booked their spot in the semi-finals last night. A good come from behind win against Spain after extra time. I think Germany and Austria are going on at the minute. And there's a couple of other games then in the quarterfinals. But yeah, I think it's only right.
Troubles in the house. Our resident referee has just arrived. Hello to the terrible twosome this Thursday evening. How are you, Mark? Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat there.
Don't forget to tell Mark we'll be hitting them up soon for our deadline day suit and all that, yeah?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ted is in as well.
Good evening, Tedward.
Had to be a player with a blue jersey for the aesthetic.
I don't know. They could have put the Arsenal away on it or something. Your woman Miedema is just... I would urge anyone that gets the opportunity to either watch Arsenal or those Dutch ladies in the quarterfinal. She's fucking scary good. Mark's hit the nail on the head.
Women's standard has improved tenfold apart from the keeping.
The only thing I'll say about that is, and I would agree with a lot of what he says, that the standards improved massively. I did think for a little while the keepers were way behind. I've had a look at this Euros. There's a girl plays in goal for England. She's actually the Man United goalkeeper. And she is quality. Her name is evading me at the minute. But there's a couple of decent keepers. There are some very, very ropey ones. But there are a couple of exceptions. The United keeper who's playing in goal for England at the minute is top-notch. Now, genuinely top-notch. But the standard has gone through the roof. What
do you think the issue is with the keeping? Or maybe Mark could let us know. Is it size? Is it stature? Maybe is that one 100%. Of the part of it?
Well, I mean, they play in full size goals, but in most of the time they're not built as big as men are. And to fill the goal, we know in a full size 11-a-side goal is very difficult.
Absolutely.
So if you've got a smaller girl in goal, it's very, very difficult. Like I would say. If you can, as an outfield player, if you say the goal is whatever size, if you can get the ball into the top 25% of the goal, you'll score most times.
Yeah.
Because of the height issue. You
Yeah,
know,
that's kind of what I
and
was thinking. I didn't think it was anything related to coaching or anything related to
no,
application
it's
or anything like that. I
absolutely
think it's
not.
just more because of the size of the goals. You see it actually a lot, when the kids move into the full size
Yeah,
goals
yeah,
and they haven't really taken that growth spurt. And
yeah,
they're just, this is like a whole big world to them really in terms of the
yeah.
small sided goals and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a similar type thing, I'd say. Yeah, but absolutely. Good point, Mark. We'll keep an eye on that
I
actually. That's a
don't know
good one to
whether,
keep an eye
and
on.
listen, I'm certainly not saying, I don't know whether there'd be an opportunity to look at the height of the goal in the women's game, right? And that's not taken away from the women. I come from a sport, I'm a tennis coach. When Wimbledon is on, the men play best of 5 sets. Yeah.
Mm.
The women, they play best of 3. Now the prize money is the same, right? That's fine. But they adapt the length of the match based on the women's physical ability, let's say, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be calls for maybe to adapt the size of the goal slightly, just slightly. If you made the goal 6 inches smaller, let's say, in height, in stature, if it would make the game a better spectacle all around because the keepers could cover the goal a little bit better, and then it would take away the opportunity of girls just literally putting it in the top ins. Because if they put it in the top ins, the girls can't get it. Mary Earps, that's her name. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Mark saying Mary Earps is her name. A lot has to do
yeah.
from underage till 13s. The girls play with the lads. And if you were a girl of a good standard, you were playing outfield. So not many women have played in goals. That's a very good point, actually, as well. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
great
think
show.
I think a lot of that. I know a lot of the, certainly our club at Raheny, they have a girls' academy now. So from
Yeah,
5s and 6s, so we'll see a lot less of that where girls are playing with boys and stuff. We
yeah,
we have a lot less of that now. But I think physically, I think they're at a disadvantage. In general, women are shorter than men, or most. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
I think it might be prudent maybe to have a look at the size of the goal, and take away that ball that just somebody physically can't get to. I mean, it makes no sense if the girl can't get to the top corner that it's an option for. So, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
most male
you
keepers
also
can cover the goal.
we often make the point on the show as well that goalkeepers, there's a kind of a madness to them. They're a different breed and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
when you coach the girls teams and stuff like that, there's a different level of maturity there and stuff like that compared to the guys.
Yeah.
Even you'll find sometimes when you're coaching the girls teams and stuff like that, they're a hell of a lot more technical to the guys, so they get the drills a lot quicker and stuff like that. And
Well,
I just think maybe they're clever enough to know, maybe I don't fancy that bit of goalkeeping or something like that.
I obviously I played in golf for the first team at Raheny, and we used to train on pitch 4. That was our pitch. It was the game. It was the pitch we played on, and it was the pitch we trained on. We used to train on pitch 4, and our ladies team was actually in the ladies Premier Division. So our ladies team were like, they had all the sponsors, all the kits, they had pre-match meals, they were playing against, DLR Waves, they were playing against, P Mount United, this team, big deal. And what happened was they used to train on the pitch next to us, and Katie McCabe used to play for Raheny. She's now obviously Irish captain, and she plays for Arsenal. But quite regularly, we'd be playing football on pitch 4, and the guy pitch beside us is where the girls used to train. And you might look over, and the next minute, Katie'd be playing, and she'd be doing a step over, or she'd be doing this or that. And our game would stop to kind of have a look over at these girls, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Like, from a technical point of view, as you say, excellent. We know the physicality is obviously different. They're redressing that massively, though. They're much fitter, they're much sharper,
yeah,
they're much more agile, everything. And they're much more rounded as athletes. Um,
yeah,
but like it's great, and it's great because, like, yourself, you have a little girl, I have a little girl. She's not so little anymore, but she's 21, whatever she is. But like, I have a little girl as well, and I want her to be able to look at something and go, I have the opportunity to be like that, because my little boys have the opportunity to do that. And
yeah.
I think it's only fair and right and
Yeah,
proper.
no, great show. You'll probably have to take this one. Do we reckon with the latest FIFA, will they introduce Ultimate Team for the women?
I don't think they'll do it just yet, but I'd say within the next 5 years, you'll have it. It's definitely in the offing. I think maybe the problem would be like, let's say I was playing the game tomorrow. I could probably name you maybe 50 to 60 female players, which is quite a big number. But I think the average player won't know enough about, when you go into Ultimate Edition and you want to buy a player, I'll say, the best right backs in the world. Oh, I want to have, Cafu. I go and I look for Cafu. I don't think people can do that as much because they won't have the knowledge on the women's game as much as the men's,
Absolutely. Let's move on from a boy that we spoke about, I think, last week on the transfer show, Frank Kessie. Bedding in nicely at Barcelona there by putting Ansu Fati up in the air and upending him with a tackle. I just thought I'd mention it there because we've a lot of admiration for Frank Kessie and stuff like that. We know he's a baller, but we know he's physical as well. But he's not wasting any time in putting lads to the stick. He's
and you know what? There's a lot of people who say that the lads at Barcelona need that more than ever. They need to be called to task on their physicality because we know they're good players, but I think some of them could do it really putting a shift in now and again. The boy Fatty he's an exceptional talent, but he needs to get his head in the game and he needs to start putting the shift in, week out, if he's going to become anything near what we expect him to be,
Yeah. Mark back, great to see the amount of girls' academies all over Ireland. We have some young girls coming up through the ranks, in particular Abby Larkin. Keep an eye out for her. Great to see. Absolutely, Mark. We see it down here. I don't know how many girls teams we have down here in the Greystones Academy, but they're doing really well and they tend to get to the semis or the finals. I think they played in the final of a cup this year as well. I'm not sure which one it is now, but it was broadcast off Facebook and everything and all, and had commentators. The whole lot was really, really cool and great to see it. So fantastic from the girls all around. Yeah. Tottenham now are focusing on selling off unwanted players or moving them out on loan now after completing the signing of Jed Spence, who we have spoken about. You're way more knowledgeable than me on this kid. But you hold him in fairly high regard, and it's another very good signing for Spurs, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a smashing footballer, this lad. He was on loan last season at Not Forest from Middlesbrough. He's registered as a Middlesbrough player, but he was on loan at Forest. Obviously, he got promotion with Forest and then went back to Middlesbrough. There's a couple of players at Middlesbrough there. I know, obviously, Spence is one. And I seem to be having a blonde night tonight because I usually have the name on the tip of my tongue. There's another kid plays high on the right-hand side for Middlesbrough. Jones. I say Jones, his name is. And again, he is an unbelievable footballer. Like, top drawer. Delivery, unbelievable. Dribbles with the ball. Has end product, can finish the whole shoot match. So they're pulling a few players out of the woodwork up there on T-side. Spence will do a phenomenal job for Spurs. I think this guy is exactly the kind of player that Antonio Conte wants. He's quick, he's physical, he moves very well with the ball at his feet. There's a gliding element to this kid. He dribbles very, very well. He passes well. His delivery is good. He has an eye for goal. Like, this kid's an all-rounder. And with what they've paid for him, I think this is a really, really good signing. I think the fee rises to roughly 20 million, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
I think it reaches about 20 after add-ons. Like, this kid's a young kid. He could have 5-6 seasons at Spurs. And for 20 million, you could be looking at an absolute bargain. He's a must for your fantasy football because he's only 4.5 million. And he'll play lots of games. He's very robust. He'll get goals, assists, clean sheets, bonuses, the whole shoot match. Ed Spence, get him involved in your fantasy.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of fantasy football, a little bit of housekeeping. If you check out the channel, Fantasy Chancer went up there, our second episode of it, which featured Darren on with Morrison GP Productions. Where they delivered, I think, Darren, they went through your team, didn't they? And your thinking and your theory.
Yeah, we revealed. So really cool. Morris revealed his team on the first episode, and then I revealed my team on the second episode, and went through just why I would make picks. And and what kind of formation I play and stuff like that. No, he's really going in on it tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he could be surprised this season. I would not be shocked at all if Silverware arrives at the new White Hart Lane this season.
I
Not
will
shocked at all.
I will put money on the table with anybody who wants to that Spurs will be the top team in London this year. Anybody that wants that, come and have a chat to me afterwards. I'm not a difficult guy to find. Yeah. Spurs for the top team, the top London team in the Premier League this week or this year.
Ted is back as well.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Do we reckon for fantasy football there'll be a massive difference now that 5 subs rule has been brought in? Yeah, I think it's huge. Because you'd guys that maybe weren't getting off the bench last season that will get game time this season. And that I think now what's going to be really important is that the subs you play or the subs you have in your bench score points every week and fill the void by players who maybe don't play, who are injured or COVID or bits and pieces, you know?
Yeah, the whole 5 sub thing is an interesting one as well, because we have seen a lot of teams in this transfer window as well, not necessarily going for, top players and stuff like that, but going for squad players as well, knowing that 5 sub thing that's coming in as well. Really clever move from a lot of clubs to see them doing that. Coyle's in the comments. Welcome, Coyle. No, they won't. Arsenal will own London. Arsenal will own London this year.
I don't think so, Coyle. I don't think so. I think Spurs have Arsenal beaten in every single position on the pitch. Every single position. Like, I don't look at very many players in that Arsenal team and think I'd have them over what Spurs have. And I think with Conte, I know I'd have Conte over Arteta all day long. So I think Coyle needs to take the old blinkers off there.
Big shout, Coyle. Coyle, who's going in there? Who goes in there? If you're doing your combined 11, tell us who's going in there. Let us know in the comments and we'll pull it back up. We'll move on from Spurs in a moment before we upset all our Arsenal friends in the chat here. This is where the show takes an extreme left here now. I'm not quite knowledgeable on this and stuff like that. But with Mark in the comments and with yourself on here, this is where you could get a bit blush here. But this man has entered Love Island, Jamie Allen. And didn't seek permission from Halifax. He's only joined Halifax as far as I know.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And didn't seek permission for them. So Halifax came out, and it was reported on Sky Sports News that they will review the situation when the show is complete. Because realistically, they don't have any choice. It's not like they can contact them.
No.
But this was kind of hedging your bets, wasn't it? That, like, if he goes in there and he does really, really well, it could be good exposure for the club. But if he goes in there and puts his foot in his mouth, then it could create a problem. What was your thinking on this when you say that? I know it was mouth-watering for you because I know you're a big fan. Mark, don't go missing in the chat now, Mark. We know you follow this show as well.
I'm a big, big Love Island fan. And we watch it every night. I haven't missed an episode this season, and I haven't missed an episode in the last number of years. So I'll hold my hands up for that one. I think it was a little
before
bit
you go any further, what's your attraction to it? What do you like about it? What's the dynamic?
So we watch it behind. It starts at 9:00 and we watch it at 9:30. So we can fast forward through the ads and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I think it's the end of our working day. The kids are in bed. It's just like, you can just kind of, it's a bit mind numbing, You can sit there and kind of have a giggle at what's going on. It's not too serious. Like, the missus gets to look at a few tasty lads. I'm having a look at a nice few birds. You're looking at the dynamic of what's going on in the house and stuff like that. There's a little bit of like gossip going on about it, and it's not in your backyard for once. It's in someone else's, so you can obviously play on that and enjoy it a little bit more. It's good crack, and it's harmless fun for me. I have to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, well for the X amount of weeks it's on, me, I'm like a divorced man when this is on. They just go down into the room there and they watch it. I haven't got a clue about it. The only one I could tell you is on, I think, Michael Owen's daughter's on it, isn't it? That's the only thing I knew.
Gemma is on it. And I mean, like, if you never watched it before and you only wanted to watch it because of Gemma, like, I would wholeheartedly say that's a good idea.
That's fair enough. Ted came back on there with a comment he was talking about.
Yeah.
He says he's kind of debating the big players for fancy football this year due to the idea that if Liverpool are 3-0 up after half time, do they hook Salah to rest him?
Yeah, I think he's right.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
he's
it's
right.
probably not. It's probably not a problem if Salah's in your team and he's scored the hat trick.
Yes, and that's what will happen. And I mean, we know like at times teams will frustrate other teams. You know, I think towards the end of games, I think what's going to happen, and this will annoy me. I think the 5 subs is important that they make sure. I'm not 100% sure that they use the substitutions the right way. Like there can be a maximum of 3 substitutions. Is that right? As usual, the same as the Europa, you can only make substitutions at 3 different occasions. So you can make a 1, a 1, and a 3, or you can make a 1, a 2, and a 2, whatever it is. But I don't think you can make 5 single substitutions, if that's right. That's the same as the rule was previously.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because we know what the rhythm and the flow of the game. And you don't want to lose the last 20 minutes on a game because you've 10 substitutions, 5 for either team, and it stopped the game, and you've 8 minutes of added on time, and then the game gets going again. And like that's going to make it
like what we experience in pre-season.
Absolutely. So we don't want that to happen. The momentum, It has to make sure it's used the same as the Europa League was last season and stuff like that. That it's, you're allowed to substitute players on 3 occasions, and you have to have used all your subs by the third one, or that's the end of it.
Yeah, Morris back in. He reckons Ramsdale. That's it. He'd have Ramsdale in before Lloris.
And that's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's someone who must know you, Darren. He must hear you talking about it. Tiernan Grogan. Darren loves a bit of Love Island. Darren loves a lot of Love Island.
Tiernan needs to be very careful because Tiernan is Rosanna's nephew, and that's who I'm bringing to Old Trafford with me for the first day of the season. So Tiernan wants to be careful what cats he's letting out of the bag. Now, big shout out to T watching us there in out in Kinseely. He's a big United fan. You see Tiernan's name, Niall?
Yeah.
You keep your eye out for Tiernan's name. Tiernan plays some rugby for Malahide Rugby Club. Okay. Tiernan is 14 years of age, and he's 6'2", and he's about 14 stone and muscle. He is.
So what you're saying is a take both of us, yeah?
It would quite easily take both of us. Tiernan is a big unit for a 14-year-old, but he's a big United fan, big rugby fan, and he's a good lad. And we're heading over to United and Brighton on the first day of the season with my own 2 lads, Andrew and Brody.
Oh, here's trouble now in the comments. Someone must have heard Love Island. The man himself, the L Boy Gunner is in. What's that, please?
One of the members of the L Spice Boys, huh? The L Boy Gunners just hit the decks.
Yeah, if anyone here, I'm gonna drop this. I better drop this in here now. If anyone wants to jump
Freddie Youngberg red stripe.
There's the link for the stream. We've been talking hairstyles, we've been talking fashion. If anyone wants to jump on there. If you want to have a chat, we're in the midst of.
Don't forget to mention to Derek, we've absolutely hammered Arsenal tonight. We've hammered you
to a point.
Yeah.
But having said that, we on the transfer show we were bigging them up quite a bit as well. In fairness, let's talk about this man, Gabby Agbon-Lahore on TalkSport was talking about the 5 commandments of Eric TenHag, and we'll roll down through them quickly. Players will be dropped if late for training or team meetings, with no exceptions. He was a bit concerned about that. I think that's probably the norm anyway, I would think. Alcohol is prohibited during game weeks. Again, probably a tough one to police, but you'd probably see it if you're monitoring. You'd see it in performance, I would imagine. Safe to say Jack Grealish won't be going to Man City anytime soon.
Not that difficult to police if he decides to be doing urine tests in the morning when they come in.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a bit of a stretch.
I would suggest it's not something we'll partake in, because it starts to then, encroach on them a little bit, and they start thinking this guy's a fucking drill sergeant. Whereas if he puts it out there and he leaves it to you, it's up to you then, you know what I mean? And it's about you being the model pro and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't want players carrying around bottles of piddle with them and stuff like that.
No,
all players must eat what is prepared by club chefs. Again, that's a tough one, isn't it? Because, most of these guys, especially at the high level, have their own chefs or people who work in their houses who prepare their meals and all for them from a nutritional point of view and stuff like that. But again, that's another one that would be very hard to police, wouldn't it? I mean, most of these guys, they're not going home and ordering a fresh cod and chips or anything, you know what I mean? They're
No,
eating
they're
really,
not. But I
really well.
think, yeah, but I think a lot of them spend a lot of time eating out is the problem. There's a lot of players that eat out, you know, they've lunches or they've dinners out in restaurants. And I think the issue there is they're leaving themselves open to anybody being preparing their food. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, Coyle's back. Matt Turner, Zinchenko nearly confirmed. Zinchenko's going to be a real good signing for them.
Yeah.
Saliba, who's a super player, and Gabriel in centre back. You
Tommy
had thoughts on that the
Asu
other
right
day, didn't you? You wanted Ben White and Saliba, didn't you?
I
Am I
put
right?
White in. I think the guy
Yeah.
Gabriel is a bit dangerous. Like, if I'm honest, he's a typical Brazilian centre back. Don't trust him. I'd have Saliba and White all day long. And Zinchenko was fine. I'm fine with. I wouldn't have Turner ahead of Ramsdale at all. The boy Tommy Asu will do okay.
Sorry, I got rid of that.
They're missing, you know, Thomas Partey, yes, but they need another midfielder. Odegaard plays as a 10. You know, Martinelli will play one side and Saka.
Fabio Vieira. He's a little bit of an unknown quantity at the moment.
Well,
somewhat.
It's not necessarily that he's unknown, but he's quite diminutive. You know, he's not a big guy, Vieira. And I don't know whether he'd mix it in as a defensive midfielder. He's played a lot higher up the pitch for Porto, and Odegaard plays as a 10 for Arsenal. He doesn't play as a midfielder. You know, so
yeah, I suppose where I was coming from with him, I was looking at his kind of size and his structure, and I was thinking the Premier League, and I was thinking he might need a bit of time to build himself up a little bit into that position. That's what I was thinking.
100%.
Also came back and striker the man Gabriel Jesus. Absolutely great move for him. He'll do real good things at Arsenal this season. Just Coyle, that's his personal lineup. Ted, no more kebabs for Luke Shaw. I don't know. I was looking at Luke Shaw the other day at pre-season. He looks trim enough now. He doesn't look like he had too many days off during the off season. You know. Morris is back
off during the season last year, so it might well he'd been busy over the summer.
Body mass index to be checked every month, BMI. Anyone who knows me knows that I think BMI is the biggest load of crap in terms of that stuff. It doesn't hold any weight at all. I don't know why people even still use it.
It does if it's measured properly. The problem is you have to measure everything individually, like, because muscle mass and the weight of muscle is more than fat anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he's talking about having it done, he's talking about measurements. He's talking about, you know, oxygen levels. He's talking about a lot of stuff. He's not talking about what we would consider BMI, because a lot of people take their BMI in this country and they do it wrong, and we all look like we're obese. Now, I'm not saying I ain't obese. What I'm saying is a lot of people take them wrong, and then it shows up that we are, you know, on the wrong side of things. Whereas if you looked into it a little more, it can have stuff to do with bone density. It can do with muscle mass. There's a huge difference.
But that's a whole different area. Maybe BMI was the wrong thing that he used. Because sports science now at these clubs is very, very different. I think the
problem is when he says BMI, he means BMI. When we say BMI, for most people, it's weight. And you know what I mean? Whereas they're not necessarily looking at all the different materials in your body that make up your body, you know?
Yeah, or your physical structure. Physical structure, which varies a lot from player to player.
100%.
Matt Turner, Jesus Christ, Morris says.
Yeah, there's no way Turner starts over Ramsdale. Like, there's absolutely no chance.
He's also made the point Vieira is injured at the moment, isn't he? Yeah, I heard it's something like, did I read it was something like a chip bone or something like that?
Yeah.
That they're looking into. Let's continue on with Ten Hag anyway. The last one, players to address complaints directly to him rather than their agents. I think the point he's making there is his office is an open door policy. If you have an issue, come in and talk to me about it. Let's try and sort it out. It doesn't have to escalate to that level where you need to talk to me through your agent. We need to forge a relationship here and a friendship that works properly for both of us. Open door policy both ways. If stuff has to be said, walk in the door and say it. Don't be putting it in through someone else. And I
be,
think that's it's probably also pushed towards, I suppose, the leaks that were happening to the press and various things like that as well. I say it's probably angled at that as well.
yeah, but I think if you look at the whole thing and the commandments, let's say, you know, for me, it just screams, I'm the fucking boss. Period. And I think that's the way it should read. You know, like, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, there's the door. You know, there's your wages. Go and play with the 23s. Go and do it. This guy is going to be cutthroat. He's going to be cutthroat. And for a long time at United, we've needed this, you know?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
What's the bleeding story?
How are you?
What's the crack?
Talk about Harry Del Boy.
My ears were fucking roasting there. I said I have to come on.
Del Boy, did someone get sick in your wall?
Oh yeah, you could say that. All right, yeah, that fucking thing there. It's stuck to the wall. It won't come off. That's the unfortunate thing. I can't paint over it either.
Did you recover from the seagulls the other day on top of the building? Yeah.
Oh Jesus! I'll tell you. About 2 days after that, I'll tell you, I wasn't too well. I must have swallowed a bit of bird droppings.
Jesus.
You've jumped on. What do you make of Darren? Darren made the point earlier that he reckons Spurs are going to be the top team in the league this season from London.
Oh, yeah. I think. Look, Liverpool, City, they're for me is hands down. It's between them, all right. But I think Spurs are definitely going to give Chelsea a good run for the third spot. I really do. Now Chelsea have signed. Sterling was a great signing for them. I think personally, he's a great player. And I just think Conte is going to get Spurs bouncing. I really do. I have to go with. I think they're going to come toward. It'll be close. It will be close. Because Tuchel is a great manager as well. They are top managers. Conte knows how to win a league. And he obviously went at the end of the season and grabbed Daniel Levy by the throat and says, "I want this player, that player, and that player. Get me them or I'm gone." And that's the type of manager he is. We all know that, and he demands respect. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to be pushing for the top three anyway. Will they push for the league? I just think, like you, Liverpool and Man City, they're too strong at the minute, and they're going to get stronger as well. But I certainly do think that they will close the gap.
Yeah, Morris making the point. He seems to be the most organised manager United have signed. Nearly as good as Lampard's rules. Short season for Frank. Jeez, Morris doesn't miss a beat. He's on fire with the danger tonight.
Frank and Everton got their arses handed to them last night by Minnesota FC.
They did. Morris sent me a message on it this morning with a big smiley face. Yeah. He was delighted.
Yeah.
Coyle's back as well.
Our friend Fat Frank might end up on the dole by December.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a good. Who do you reckon would be the first manager gone?
I'd say Frank's definitely in with a spin. I'm going to give you three. I'll give you three, right? I think Frank's in with a spin and getting the chop. I think the boy Silva at Fulham, only because of how much Fulham have chop and change managers, And I think the third one, and here's a surprise for you, because I'm a big fan of this guy, but I don't think Southampton have done enough in the off-season yet. And I think if things start off pretty slow, Ralph could be in trouble.
Ooh, that's a big call.
That's a big show. Absolutely.
I'm not here to get splinters with me whole lads. I'm here to make the big calls,
You're not here to make friends.
This is it, man.
These clips are getting clipped big time. These could go back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Coyle's back in the comments. The manager that United have needed for the past few years is a manager that's not taking any shit off these players. Absolutely. 100%. I think that's the point that's being made all along, without a shadow of a doubt.
What? Dazzler, can Can I just ask you a question just about United? What's your sort of make on Ten Hag? Like, what do you think he's doing so far? Like, are you happy with him or?
Delighted, man. Absolutely delighted. I think the performances, the first three, it's pre-season, so you can't read too much into them. But I think just the style of play that they've come out and played is light years ahead of where we were for the last number of years. I don't think United have played this style or brand of football under any of the managers since Ferguson has left. We had obviously that run under Solskjaer, those 8 to 10 games where, we went unbeaten and the lads were playing very well. But I don't think there's been a sustained period where they've played really, really good football. And I think no matter what happens with United this season, regardless of a points and where they finish in the league, I think the football is going to get better. The structure is going to be a lot better. I think we're going to look like a team that has a style and a pattern of play. And for me, we've been screaming out for that for the last number of years, man.
Yeah, big time.
It'll look well till the tour game, and then we'll hop off you. And then it'll be all sorted out. Don't be worrying about that. It's only pre-season. Derek, if you're hanging around, we're going to take a look at the away kits. I'm sure you'll be interested in
I'll
this.
tell you. I have about 15 minutes to spare before I bleeding carnage comes into me gaff. So, let's go for it.
We've only got about 15 minutes to go through them anyway. Start, Darren, the City one.
Well, do you know what I will say just before we touch on City? If Arsenal are going to win any trophy this season, it might be the best away kit.
Absolutely.
Well,
that away kit is
I suppose. Yeah, look, come here. I love it. I really do love it. Now, look, come here. I'm a Moni. You know what? I don't want to be saying all this on your channel. It's different when it's on my own. You know what I mean? But
here, listen, this is an open mic here. You say whatever you want to say. It's cool.
All right. Well, here, I'm a Moni bollocks. You know what I mean? Call me old-fashioned. Now, I love the kit. I do love it. My young fellas love it. They want me to buy it. You know what I mean? And look, you have to, please the kids or whatever, and I probably will end up buying it for them, But the only thing I have to say about it is it's not tradition. Like, Arsenal are yellow or, blue or something like that is their second kit. And the whole thing about, why are they doing that? I don't know. I understand nowadays every big team has a third kit. Have it as a third kit. But we're going fucking out a bleeding a pink kit. What's the bleeding story with that? You know what I mean? And any fella I see with a pink kit on, I will be letting him know how much of an arsehole he looks in it. But yeah. I think the away kit.
You're talking to the wrong man there. Then this man here is well into his colours. That man will be rocking pink and mauve and that.
Listen, Derek has absolutely seen some of my get-ups previously, so he knows how we roll, man.
I suppose the thing about it, Del Boy, are you going to be able to fit Zinchenko across the shoulder blades of it? That's the thing. Really.
Oh, I'll tell you. Look, I'm happy with him. I am happy with him because the reason why I'm happy, if we can keep Tierney fit, obviously Tierney starts at left back. Tierney's quality, and then Zinchenko then sort of sits in the midfield left row. You know what I mean? And that means it's taking out Xhaka, and I hate that. I hate that fella. That's all I'll say. You know what I mean? He's just disrespected the club with the armband, and we won't go into that. We might go into it another night, but you shouldn't be allowed to do that at any club. You know what I mean? Liverpool, Man United. I think if that happened there, he'd be gone. He wouldn't be at the club anymore.
He's so unlikable. It's scary. Like, I even think from a United fan's point of view, like, I don't know if there's any other player in the league that I hate more than Granit Xhaka. Like, the guy just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Do you know?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, for me, City and Liverpool are slightly bigger rivals for us. I would love to hate some of the Liverpool lads. I would love to hate some of the City lads. I can't. But Xhaka, he's really fucking hateable. Like, he's a swine.
Well, the next thing is when you see him rocking up in a pink jersey, your hatred will double.
and do you know what? Do you know what's part of it? Let me just be a little bit political. The fact he turned his back on his country to go and play for Switzerland because Albania weren't good enough for him, it kind of says enough about the lad.
Yeah, 100%.
Mercenary. Fucking mercenary.
Here's one for Del now. Morris asked Del, what does he think of AFTV hanging out with Edu and being a part of Arteta's post-match press conference last night? We know that Dell has had his more than his fill of a confrontation with AFTV at times.
Here. I know why Morris is asking this because he's seen one of my videos and I fucking ran amok about this, I'll tell you. But sure, here, when in Rome, you know what I mean? We're playing away from home, we're in the black kit, so we might as well don it and respect it, yeah? I'll tell you, they're fucking arseholes, lead judges and all that. I fucking met him and all, like, you know what I mean? Piss off, and I'll be seeing him in September again and I'll fucking tell him how it is. Fucking twerking for fucking Edu. Will you do me a fucking favour? He was on the Invincibles, yeah, and he could barely get his game. He was only coming on the last few minutes. So don't give me all this, you're an Invincible and handshaking and this and that. Fuck off, you bleeding arsehole. I was embarrassed watching the thing. I was absolutely embarrassed. A grown man. You know what I mean? He's so grown, he's no fucking hair. And he's there going fucking twerking for Edu. Piss off.
Murder outside the Emirates this September. Murder. I can imagine yourself, Kyle Walsh, and all the boys rocking up. It'd be like something out of Green Street Hooligans. I mean, murder. I tell you, just don't bring Frodo with you. You'll be all right.
Man's been arrested today outside the Emirates.
Ted is on. I love the United away kit. Much preferred it than the home jersey. Thoughts, Darren?
I'm a fat bloke, so I tend to not like white. It makes me look like the Michelin man. So I'll probably, you see, I can't wear the red one either. I wear the red one, I look like a fucking Teletubby. I wear the fucking white one, I look like the Michelin man. So I'm hedging my bets on the tour jersey. For the last few years, I've only ever bought the tour jersey because it's either black, blue, or fucking grey. And I can just about get away with those three.
The training kits tend to be all right, don't they?
The training kits are always right. I've a stack of them things in the press over there, man.
I must say, I do like that United away kit. It's nice.
There's a couple of nice ones there, I have to be honest with you. Like, I have to say, I don't mind the City one. I don't mind it at all. The red and black with the gold.
I don't like that.
The only thing looking at the picture that's up there as well, I was kind of thinking, has Haaland had a good off-season? He fills it, doesn't he? Those stripy shirts are a bit sort of...
He's a big unit, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle is back. He says, I agree. The black kit is fresh, but it should have been the tour kit and yellow as the second. Great show.
Yeah, he's right.
Great show.
He's 100% right, yeah. I like that Arsenal kit.
Daz is in the comments. Daz came over, I think, from Stephen's channel there this morning. We did a preview for the Leipzig game. We did indeed play good tonight. Good and great. Absolutely great to see Nunes putting in a few goals. Not bad for the Uruguayan Andy to Carroll, eh? Good stuff.
I can't believe someone came out with that.
It's not just one. You're not a fan of them blood, fam. Blood. No.
Oh, Jesus.
We can definitely say Del Boy is not a fan of AFTV at all. He's a fan of gay crashing them and stuff like that.
Here. Telling you now, did you be standing around the Tony Adams statue, right? And they're just there. They're just like there, like as in waiting for, like, you know, the leader to come out, and next thing he comes out of his executive box and all this crap, and next thing it's a big, oh my God, Robbie, cameras. I just shouldered them all out of the way. Robbie, what's the crack? Del Boy Turf TV here from Potato Land. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, you know what I mean?
It's the first time in a long time I've seen him cough for words. He was speechless. He didn't know what to make. He didn't know whether you were looking to shoot a video or pick a row. It was gas. Morris Dell wants to know, what do you think of the Everton kit, that nice pink one?
Oh, Jesus. Morris is winding me bleeding up, will you? You know what I think of that? That's bleeding useless. It might have been good on his guest he had on the other day. The one with the you-know-what. Great show, by the way, Morris.
Del Boy got plenty of time out of that one while he was up on top of that
hill. I did at the start until I found out at the end what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
Morris.
Are we?
Yes.
Are we a big fan of that Brighton kit, lads?
I was just about to say, I actually do. I think it's all right. It's a nice kit.
Yeah, it's lovely. I really like the Brighton one. I'm a huge fan of the Palace one as well, by the way. Palace is similar to the home kit. It's got the lines kind of blurred a little bit. They look great. Macron doing
is
a
nice.
great job with the jersey. I think Brighton look great. I think Liverpool's is absolute horseshit. Like it's
Where's the
fucking
Liverpool one?
horrific.
Hold on.
That's it with Van Dijk on the left.
We'll go full screen on it so you can see it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just on my mobile here. It's just small, but I can see.
It's got all these like psychedelic circles in it, Del.
Yeah.
It's like
Del, if you experience 90s raves and you were having a good time at them, then that top would do you well. Or if you were coming up to Champs-Élysées and you hadn't got the yellow jersey on you, you'd be okay in it. It's like it doesn't even the funny thing about it, it doesn't even look good on that Colossus Van Dijk even. Which says a lot about it.
Is that yellow one there? Is that the Forest one? Is it
Forest? Yeah, it's lovely.
It's Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great on
like what colour was there? What colour is their away jersey? Like, was it always yellow?
Forest has typically been yellow. They've been a similar set of colours to you guys. The kind of red and white and black at home, and then the blue and yellows away. Yeah. I think the Forest one is nice. Forest again is Macron. It's made by the same lads that are making the Palace jerseys, and their home jersey looks really well as well.
What do we make? The one down in the corner, is that's Southampton, isn't it? The kind of Polynesian one.
Yeah, it's like a Polynesian.
It's like a Polynesian tattoo or something like that.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks more like a train on top, doesn't it, than a jersey?
Yeah, the collars have an awful lot to do with that. And you know what, as well, actually, I actually meant to send you a picture the other day of that Spurs jersey. That is vile.
Oh, I hate that.
Absolutely vile. That's like purple with like a highlighter through the middle and black on the shoulders. It's
disgusting. It really is. It's horrible. Who's doing that jersey? Is it Nike? Is it
Nike? Yeah, it's a Nike kit.
Yeah.
I tell you, the best kits I always seen is Adidas. Like, even the United home kit. Like, I manage a team, and one of the young fellas came down in the whole kit, and I says, "Geez, it looks cool. I must say, I like it." And now the Arsenal colours, I'm not into the Arsenal colours. Adidas do Arsenal as well, obviously, but they have the same as United, the same lightning-y sort
triangle.
of thing.
Yeah, it's a triangle. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it on the Arsenal one, but they have it black on the United, and it actually looks okay. I think looks nice.
The United away kit does look quite well. The white one, we played the other day in it, and we played in full white with the white shorts and the white socks. But we'll play with a black short and a white sock. It's quite a nice jersey. It's quite a nice kit. I just don't do white myself.
Yeah, I was just about to say that United kit, if it is black shorts, that'd look lethal.
Yeah, it does look well.
I'm just coming back to you, what you were saying about the Man City with the stripes there. Remember United? I used to always love United's kit when it was the red kit with the black shorts. I think that's the way red and black should go. I don't like the lines like that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not into that. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know, but they've been. We were talking about it last week, Darren, when we spoke about the home kits as well. They're kind of like the way they're doing the training gear and all. It's kind of out there, isn't it? Morris wants to know, what do we think of the Saudi one? Is nice, isn't it? The Newcastle one.
It depends whose blood is splattered across it, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Jesus. Ted's on as well. The Forest kit looks like a late 90s, early 2000s Brazilian kit.
Yeah, it does actually. Retro.
I would have said Sweden. I would have said Sweden. Yeah, remember, Sweden had the blue floating up the inside of the arm.
Reminds me of the sort of the 1998 or something. I think World Cup Brazil's or something like that.
Yeah, Stephen Roach's jersey when he won the Tour de France. Tiernan's back on again, Darren. Forest kit looks a bit like a training kit. Just my opinion, it's not that nice.
Don't listen to
anything. It's not the nicest there now.
Don't listen to anything that Tiernan says. His mammy still buys his clothes from him.
Okay, so we'll round it off then.
Tiernan, when Heidi stops buying your clothes, you can have a speaking part in this, right?
Don't be letting him away with that, Tiernan. Let him know.
Yeah.
Ted is back. He says, 98 is what I was thinking as well. Yeah, good show, Ted. So what are we picking, lads? What's your favourite and your least favourite? Darren, we know yours is Liverpool. Mine is probably Liverpool as well. I think I suppose I'd probably put Everton just below it, but definitely the Liverpool one for me is a bit of a shocker.
The two worst away kits in the league are on Merseyside.
Yeah.
Like
The
they're
worst
both
on, I think my
shocking.
worst, I suppose, yeah, look, the way I just think that Spurs one is disgusting. I'm not into it at all. Like, and I think the best, I'm not just saying it because I'm an Arsenal supporter, but it's just, I just think it's quality. Like, they were playing last night, and I think the numbers they had on the back was gold as well. Look class,
Lovely.
like.
That'll
But
look a little bit like the LA jersey that Bale wears now, the black with the gold numbers and lettering on it. It's
Yes.
really nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Really nice.
Really
Now,
nice.
my young fella was on, and he wants a name on the back and stuff like that. And when I went online, it came, like, it gives a sample of what it's going to look like, and it had it in white. And I was just there. Well, I think he wants the gold, but
Yeah,
it didn't give
but
you
the
that option.
Premier League ones are the white ones. So the
Right,
Premier
okay.
when they play Premier League, they have to be white. But when
Right.
when
Never
they
knew
go into the likes of the Europas or the EFL Cups or anything like that, they can change the colour, the italics, and the numbering on it. And like in a pre-season friendly, they can have their gold. Because last year there was a similar one with one of the United jerseys where when they played in certain competitions, the number, I think it might have been the third kit, the number was yellow, and then when they played in the league, it had to be white. So there's an issue there.
that.
But it looks way nicer in the gold, way nicer.
Yeah.
Ted is on there. If you get a chance, head over to his channel, Retrotainment, where he does a recast and looks back at old movies and stuff like that. Great channel.
Oh yeah,
Check
oh,
it out
definitely.
when you get
Is
a
that
chance.
his name there?
No, the channel is called Retrotainment, all one word.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth having a look at. They go back and review
Cool.
all movies and they recast them and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool.
I want to just
well
throw
worth checking
in.
out if you're.
I know we're throwing Liverpool and Everton under the bus, but I want to throw Arsenal at the top of the tree, and I want to just throw Brighton in because I'm interested to see what the rest of that kit looks like. Because I think the jersey on its own looks great, but I'd like to see how they match it up with the shorts and socks. Like if that was full orange top to bottom with the black trim on it, that could look fucking tasty.
Even if it was black shorts, that'd look class as well.
And then the orange socks maybe with a little black rim on them or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a Dutch feel to it, yeah.
We won't see that on the opening day of the season. They are away, but they'll be wearing their blue and white because they're at Old Trafford and it'll clash with our red, which is a shame.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. The Palace one we like as well, don't we? That Palace one is a lovely jersey, isn't it?
Both of the Palace jerseys look great. Really do look great. And I must say, the West Ham one doesn't look terrible either.
Yeah.
It's not a bad attempt, and we did kind of like the West Ham home jersey a little bit as well. So Umbro were doing all right there with that one.
I think Darren will probably call on top of the tree Crystal Palace, are we, because of home and away?
I think overall you'd have to give it to Palace, wouldn't you? On the home and the away.
I think so, because the home and away, they've knocked it out of the park with both.
They have.
Again, I don't know. Have you seen shorts and socks for that away one yet? No.
For the Palace one?
Yeah.
I haven't.
No, but I'd imagine they're all white. Palace have always
yeah,
been all
that's what I
white.
was thinking.
Yeah, they won't go with red or blue at all. So they'll go full white on that.
White with a nice trim with the red and the blue, maybe. Yeah, it'd be cool. Really nice. But yeah, I think Palace in terms of.
If I knew I was coming on to this to do the old fashion show, like, you know what I mean, I would have went and downloaded Hector Bellerin's guide to fashion for dummies.
We had his
on the back of a postage stamp.
We had his shoes on 2 weeks ago. Did you not see his shoes 2 weeks ago? The Gucci Adidas crossovers.
The Gucci Adidas.
No. The first thing that was said the minute we put them up, look at these things, they're shocking. 800 quid a pair. And the first thing that came into the comments, Hector Bellerin. Straight away. Asha, look, you won't be complaining about him when he's your captain.
Fucking, I'm deleting the channel. I'm deleting it.
Does he?
You won't have to. YouTube will do it for you.
Option? Is there a genuine, opportunity for him to get back into the starting 11 here?
Oh no, there can't be. You know what I mean? That really can't be. He's just useless. I'm sorry. He is just useless.
Had he not been loaned out before Arteta came in? As in, like, is this not now Arteta's first opportunity to have Bellerin as part of the squad, and maybe
I think
as an option?
Yeah, no, because last season, like he was in Betis.
He was on loan last season at Real Betis. That's right.
Yeah,
but did he not move there before Arteta came in?
No.
Okay. So he's probably had a look at him and decided he wasn't for him.
Yeah, he knows he's a fucking prick.
Well, yeah, that's been our review of the away jerseys that were available to us anyway. Yeah, I think I'm in agreement anyway with you, Darren. I think Palace. I do really like that Arsenal jersey as well.
Yeah.
And I like it as well. I don't know, Del, if you're saying it. Is it actually a gold or is it kind of a bronzy? It's kind of off gold, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
really, really nice the way it
it's like an
blends
off
into it as
goal.
well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And look, you've got 4 guys there modelling it pretty well, pretty good as well. Let's see
I should have been in the background modelling it.
Yeah, with the Samsung out.
Yeah.
Now, Arteta loaned him last year and Bettis wouldn't cough up the money for a permanent deal.
They were looking for big bucks though, weren't they?
Yeah, but apparently I think Betis, I heard, like, you know, it's only rumours that Betis, I think, were offering 3 million or something for him. But, you know, I'm hoping I'll fucking give him a jockey back over to fucking there. Like, you know what I mean? He is useless.
3
Just get him
million.
out the door.
Apparently, you wouldn't get his wardrobe for 3 million. You're loaned the player.
Yeah.
That's the talk.
he wants to. I believe, you know, he's a part owner of Forest Green Rovers, which is it's the, you know, save the trees of football kind of thing, with the renewable energy sources and stuff like that. So I think he wants to try and stay in the league as well if he can, because it means he can have a little more of an active part in the running of the club. I think the idea would possibly be over the next maybe season or two, if Forest Green could take a bump up. I mean, they're in League One at the minute. I think if Forest Green got to the Championship, you'd probably see him don the kit.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, I'll tell you, every game he's playing for Arsenal, I'm going to pull a 3 down for it.
And we're not talking the phone company either here.
Yeah,
10 million. I don't know, Darren, he could go off to Fulham, couldn't he? He might like that early access into Harrods and stuff like that to be doing his shopping and everything, no?
Telling you, man. Yeah. Stroll down the old King's Road and into Kensington for lunch and stuff like that. He'd love
it. If they wouldn't pony up the 11 million for Neco Williams, they're hardly going to pony up 10 for Hector Bellerin there, were they? I wouldn't imagine.
I was in London a number of years ago, and I stayed in a jury's hotel in Kensington, and it was right across the road from a Ferrari garage. Right, hotel was grand. It wasn't anything special, but the location was really, really good. And we were out having a little walk, and it was lunchtime, and the next minute, this Lamborghini pulled up onto the path at like 100 mile an hour. Squad car or a police car with the lights on. Lambo driving through Kensington.
No way.
I'm like,
Jesus.
What the fuck is going on here? Opposite the Ferrari garage. And you're just like, it's a bit of a different world here, lads, isn't it? There was something going on the street. They'd been watched on the cameras or whatever was going on. And the Lambo pulled up with the lights on it. Your man gets out. The door had to pop up and everything for your man to get out. The copper, and out he got in the plain clothes, pull the badge out, hold it there, boys, and you're just going, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Now the question for me now is, when he cuffs him, where's he going to put him?
I've no idea. But like, it was surreal, because you're like, he's at the mountain this path here at about 100 mile an hour with these run flats on the Lambo, like, and he's just gone like this, jumped out, the door flips up, and your man gets out like fucking Knight Rider in his leather jacket, his chains, and like pulls out his badge. And I'm going, what the fuck is going on here?
Sounds like they were shooting a scene for a movie or a series or something like that, as opposed to real life.
It was really strange. The other really strange thing about this little trip we were on was, we went into this, we wanted to go into this club this night, you know, and the doorway was on the street, and you went down the stairs. So, of course, I get there and I'm like, how's it going? You know, blah, blah. And your man's like, sorry, not tonight. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, what's going on here? He says, you're not a regular or whatever. I'm like, I live in Ireland. I can't be a regular or whatever, blah, blah. So anyway, he turns myself and your woman away. So I'm like, jeez, that was a bit fucking harsh. And something's going on. Next minute, another bouncer pulls up out of nowhere. He says, what did you say? And he speaks back to me in a north side Dublin accent. And I says, well, I was just saying, like, I can't be a fucking local if I don't live here, can I? You know, like this. And your man says, "Where are you from?" And he says, "Oh, you know yourself, Kilbarrack, bloody. Kilbarrack." He says, come on in. So, open your man's that are giving us the heave ho, we're not going in. Your man opens the doors. Go on down. We're sitting at a table, right? We're sitting at a table, and I'd say it's the size of a footstool, the table, right? And all it has on is a lamp, and the drinks will barely fit on it. But everyone in the whole place is famous, and we're just sitting there. I order 2 drinks, and it's like £38. And this is like 15 years ago. And I'm like, what? And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, no bother.
Oh, one of those, yeah. You always have to be wary of clubs where you walk downstairs into them. They're always very expensive.
The little lamp
dropping 20 quid just to get your jacket back.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm going on as I'm going back out, I'm going to say to your man, the security fella, the bouncer, going, tell me it was fucking 40 quid a round for 2 bleeding balls.
Yeah.
Dazzler's coming up the stairs to the bouncer. Where's the nearest Sainsbury's? I need to go get a bottle of vodka.
Hell. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, lads. Well, listen, an absolute pleasure having you on again this week. Bit of fun this week on the show. Del Boy, thanks for dropping by. Let people know. Tell them about the channel.
Yeah, just Del Boy Gunner TV. I say it up straight. I hold no bars. If you're afraid of coursing or anything like that, don't come on the channel because there's a lot of it. I'm getting a swear jar this year for the start of the season. I'm going to save up, probably renovate the gaff, I'd say, with the amount of money I'll save at the end of the season. But I'm going to do
you'll have enough for a set of season tickets at the end of this.
Be off to the Maldives for a month or something like that, after Barbados.
Yeah. I'm going doing watch-alongs with Kyle Walsh, Gunner, and he's a bit of a mad joke as well, like, you know what I mean? So it's good. I've seen his reaction. His nephew showed me his reaction. Now, he didn't know he was being recorded. Ben White made a mistake for a goal, and the goal went in, and I thought he was going to lose his voice. He was screaming so loud, you know, and I could not stop laughing. And I just think he's that type of person. He just loses his shit. So I'll be interested to see the watch along. So yeah, check it out. If you like to see Irish guys losing their shit.
They might surprise you though. It might all go well. Then what are you going to do?
Yeah. Winning the league. Undefeated.
The 2 lads sitting there smiling at each other. Do you come here often?
5 on the first day of the season for Gabriel Jesus. Oh my God, we're back.
Yeah. Undefeated.
You and Kyle will be on the phones on WhatsApp messaging each other going, I don't know whether these watch-alongs are a good idea anymore.
Yeah.
No, absolutely brilliant. Great. Yeah, absolutely. Go over there, check out the channel, subscribe and everything. He's picking up subscriptions all the time and heading towards that 1,000 as always. Great to have you on as always. You're welcome anytime. Dazzler, as always, a pleasure.
Cheers, lads.
Been a real fun show as we kick on and we get closer and closer till the start of the season. We're getting into the business end now of the transfer window as well. Teams trying to hurry to get players in before the season starts. As always, if you want to contact the show, it's the Upper Tier on YouTube, the Upper Tier Podcast at gmail.com if you want to contact us. Audio shows, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and you'll get us on every social media platform. There's no way you can tell us you can't find us. We're out there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you find podcasts. We're not there yet, but the way things are going with these jersey reviews and those high heel Adidas and stuff like that, we could end up there pretty soon. Till next time, a pleasure, my friends.